2022! We did it, guys. We made it to another year, and who would have thought it? The past, I guess now 3 years have been kind of a struggle because of the pandemic. As you guys know, Korea's not been as fun as it once was due to all of that. Has it been 2 years or 3 years? I don't even know at this point. I, as always, like to put out my resolutions for the year. I actually looked at my old video from last year for my resolutions, and I have to say I didn't do a great job keeping them, and I'm going to blame the pandemic again because Korea was really restrictive this year. There's a lot of curfews, and also obviously I had a lot of big changes in my life that prevented me from, I think, doing all the things I wanted to accomplish. But we're gonna look back on my 2021 resolutions and kind of see how I'm going to try and keep them this year for 2022. So my first resolution from last year was working on this channel, and I think I've done a pretty good job. I think in the middle it got a little bit touch and go because I wasn't uploading as consistently because I was so overwhelmed and busy with obviously my job and then the job change and then just all this stuff. So and like obviously I didn't really have time or ability to go out and film stuff because stuff was closed all the time really early. Just life got in the way. But lately, obviously I've been able to maintain the 2 videos a week schedule. I know originally this channel was really built off me and Peyton left. Me being able to kind of talk to you guys about the tea and all the fun stories, and I think obviously a lot of people came to this channel for that. And unfortunately, it's just not something I can provide anymore because I don't have a social life as much. Obviously, I can't go out. There's no clubs really open, and you know, trying to act responsibly. And also, I think that's not really the focus of what I've been trying to do lately. So I lost obviously a lot of viewers, and am working hard on getting them back or getting new ones. And for everyone who's stuck with me, thank you so much. But yeah, obviously I think just from a realistic standpoint, the numbers are not as great as they once were, and YouTube is just not with me on the algorithm right now. So if they can get back on board, that would be great. I would appreciate it. But in the meantime, we're gonna keep going as we always have, and hopefully this channel finds momentum again this year. We'll see how it goes. I'm manifesting that 2022. Happening. The next thing was language and Korean language. So I was taking KIP classes, which are government-run Korean language courses, which are free and provided, and you just sign up for it. Although it's like a battle royale to sign up. It's like when you're trying to get the classes you want for university and everyone signs up at once because you're trying to get all the classes you want for your schedule. That's basically what that's like, signing up for KIP. And I finished a few levels, but honestly, online learning is just not for me. All the classes needed to be online because of obviously the pandemic, and you know, I just don't have that attention span. I passed all my levels, which was good. It didn't really feel like I was properly learning what I needed to be learning, so I've kind of taken a step back. One of the bigger reasons I was taking the KIP classes is because they add to my points, which would help me change to an F visa, and an F visa is basically a visa that allows me to have flexibility, the same flexibility as a person of Korean nationality, to be able to have whatever job I want and to take whatever job I want, and I wouldn't have to be tied to a company's visa. But they've changed the point system where it's kind of going to be much harder for me to get the points I need for the F visa at this point. It used to be a lot easier, and then they revamped it to make it specifically harder. So it's just this whole thing where I don't think it's really that feasible anymore for me to get the F visa. Yeah, so I stopped taking the KIP classes, basically is what I'm saying. But I've been trying to study more on my own. I've also been, again, trying to learn, or better, not learn, but like better my Chinese, because I am technically bilingual, but I always feel I'm not bilingual because I don't know so many words that I should know. I never went to school to study Chinese. It was just something I spoke in my household. My dad doesn't speak English, and my mom's English is, like, she can read and write it fine, but English is actually her like 4th language. So it's not her best language. It's definitely something I have now actively been trying to better myself at, and I watched a lot of Chinese variety shows. A bit too many if you ask me, and a lot of like Chinese dramas to kind of get that language still in my brain because I have zero opportunities to speak Chinese in Korea. I don't know anyone that speaks Chinese actually among my immediate circle of friends. I know there's Chinese people here because I've like seen them and I go to the Chinese mart and I've heard it. But I feel like a lot of them are students, I want to say, and so I've never met anyone here who I can speak Chinese to. So that's been kind of hard. And also Japanese is a language I've always really wanted to study because a lot of people in my family, my mom included, are fluent in Japanese, and I have family in Japan, so I would like to learn it more still. Those are like the 3 language resolutions I've got on my ticket, and because I have technically more time, I should be able to do it, but because you have more time doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna do it. So even with all the time I've had recently, I still have not studied. But 2022 is the year. Also 2021, I made a short-term resolution because I wanted to check that off the list of paragliding. I did not go paragliding, as you probably noticed, because I obviously would have filmed it if I'd gone paragliding. Still on my bucket list, still gonna do it. It was just such a crazy year. Hopefully this year I can make a go of it. And in 2021, I also wanted to be a more optimistic and positive person. I think I've been doing actually a very good job of that, keeping that particular resolution. I'm not as pessimistic as I used to be, which is something I've noticed recently. And I'm actually a very introverted person naturally, so I have a hard time with strangers and making new friends, but I've been actively trying to fight that and do the opposite of what I would normally do when I meet new people. So I've actually been able to make a lot of new friends recently, and you know, I don't know where those friendships will net out eventually, but the fact that I was able to open up and kind of bring and like let my guard down a little bit more has definitely been something I've been proactively trying to change, and I think I've been making some progress. I mean, there's work to be done. My other short-term, it's not really short-term, but it's just, I'm trying to go to New York. I'm trying to visit New York. Let's everyone manifest that in 2022, Chen can finally visit New York because I have not been back. And when I say in a long time, I mean literally in the entire time I've moved to Korea, I have not once been back to New York. I've been able to see my family because we meet in Taiwan, and I've been able to see a few friends because we'll like meet up in a different country and go on vacation together, but I have not been back to my hometown, my heart of hearts, since I moved to Korea. And it was just because it was so far. New York is so far. It is such a journey to go. If I had a vacation, I was like, well, I can either go back to New York, or I can go to Australia, or I can go to Singapore, or I can go to this island in the middle of the ocean. It was just one of those things I kept putting off, and then I tried to go right before the pandemic hit. And obviously I couldn't because then the pandemic hit. And then I tried to go last year, but it was still like the pandemic was crazy, and I would have had to quarantine in Korea, and it would have cost a ton of money. So it's just really out of the question. So in 2022, let's hope everything goes smoothly and I can finally visit. I've been trying to open this blog for a while now, and I've kind of roughly written out some articles and some things, and I'm gonna put the link in the description box so you can go visit. I did buy a domain, I just haven't put anything in it yet, so maybe you guys can keep checking it until I do and just like push me to actually like set it live. Those are things I've been working on the back end for me. The blog will be very topic based, and it's broken up into different categories of travel, lifestyle, beauty, and things I'm already, you know, talking about here, things I want to talk about but haven't had really I guess it wasn't the right platform to talk about it here. So stuff I want to discuss or write up about and review that I don't necessarily think I would make a video on here. The blog will be open in 2022. That is going to happen. It's already in the process. Obviously, I literally paid for a domain, so if I don't use it, that's on me. You gotta manifest, you gotta shout it on the world. I hope in 2022 I make a ton of money and I can take my mom on a vacation, and I can make a lot more money than that, and then be able to financially, you know, do other things like pay off my student loans, which I'm still paying for. That's a big manifestation. There we go, putting it out in the universe. the next thing is kind of for me and also just for everyone, I think, you know, to be healthy. I think that's something we've learned during this pandemic to not take for granted. And anytime I'm sick now, I'm like, what can I do to take better care of my health? My last wish or my last resolution or manifestation for 2022 is the same as I do every year, is that I want to be happier this year than last year. And hurdle's not too high. Bar is like at an average middle right now. 2021, I will say, I think 2021 I was happier than 2020. So I think I was able to you know, check that off the box and make that come true for myself. And so I think if we say it again, 2022 happier than 2021, it should come true. That's how this works, guys. If you put it out in the universe, it has to work. And I know obviously we can do it any time of the year. Like turning the new year is not necessarily going to like change everything, but I do think it gives us a little bit of a mental push, and it's that placebo effect of let's look back on what we did and how can we make that better. I hope everyone had a really wonderful New Year's, and I hope everyone's like new year is going to be as amazing and fantastic as we all deserve it to be. So that's it for me, guys. I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.